Oh my goodness gracious, we are back for a very quick check-in because I haven't been able to put out an episode in a little bit and I felt bad about that. Like I've been trying to find people. It's just finding people that are interesting and then scheduling between two different schedules is quite hard. So I'm working on it. There should be at least one guest this current month. So keep on the lookout for that. But I do want to tell you about a guest that I do not think is going to happen now because there's been some very interesting developments. So I had originally invited the Princess Ingrid of Norway to come on the podcast. Now, she is going to college, or she was going to be starting college this year in Australia at the University of Sydney. And my understanding was that she was going to be doing like a Bachelor of Arts in it was like international relations and political economy, which I thought would be interesting to talk to her about because like most of the people I'm assuming who go into that are going into that because they want to be a politician. But she's not really a politician. She's a princess, and her position within her country is very unique. Like, you know, it they aren't the absolute rulers anymore, obviously. So what they are is becoming more and more in question, especially in Scandinavia. And so I was like, it'd be fun to chat with her and see what she has to say about all of that. Well, if not, I write this letter out because I don't know how else to get in contact with her, right? How do you get in contact with Princess? You got to write a letter. So I write this letter, I send it off in the mail. And then the next day, I see a TikTok saying she's dropping out of school to come home because her mother's health is poor. And I'm like, oh no, this could not have been a worse time to reach out to somebody. And then I'm like, that's too bad. Well, I guess she's probably not coming on the podcast because the thing I said I want to talk to her about she's no longer doing. Well, not 2 hours later, I see a different news report from a different news organization that's saying that she's not leaving Australia because she's going home to her ailing mother, who I saw some people saying the mom needed like a lung transplant or something, like she's lung issues. I don't know if that's true or not. I hope it's not true, but she's leaving because she has a stalker and she's trying to get away and get to safety from the stalker. If that's true, I don't know which of these is true or if any of it's true. I think she is coming home. That much seems to be clear. But the why, I can't. I mean, what a bad time to send a letter to somebody. It's weird enough to get a letter in the mail as is, but you have an active stalker situation, and now you've just gotten a letter from it could not be a worse time to send the letter. But I do hope she gets it. I am working on getting more like a wider variety of guests on. I really appreciate like getting to talk to different people about different things. As fun as it is to talk to athletes and health people about stuff, like I still love that stuff, and I think that's probably going to be the predominance of what this is. But like, I mean, but there's still so many things that I want to talk to people about. So we'll see where it goes. I can tell you one person I'm not going to be having on. And that's Bryan Johnson. I'll tell you that for free right now. This was something that was reported on by the India Times. Do you know how weird of a tweet you know how weird of a thing you have to do for the Times of another country on the other side of the world from you to see it and go, this is so weird that everyone in our country needs to know about it? That's how weird this was. All right. For context, he's dating. I don't know if he groomed her or if she trapped and stalked him. It's unclear. I think they might be both each other's victims. If I'm 100% honest, I'm not totally clear on what happened here. I watched the documentary and that did not answer any questions. It really raised more questions than it answered. And it ironically was called Don't Die because as I was watching it, I wanted to die. And as I read this to you, you are going to also want to die. So I would advise everyone to pull over. Don't be, operating heavy machinery. Don't be holding any knives. Be somewhere safe while you're listening to this. I don't even know how to describe what this is. Anyway, they're together, two little plastic bags that found each other in the parking lot. And I think he's probably 20 years older than her. Now, he would probably argue that biologically they're both 18 or 14 or whatever, and that this is somehow like a pre-consensual relationship. I don't even want to get into that because it makes my chest, my sternum hurt. It's a physical pain that I feel in my body whenever, and I don't even follow him. I have him blocked, and yet he still finds a way onto my timeline. There's actually, maybe I should invite this girl on. There's a girl on TikTok named Sydney who, again, I don't follow, and I see her stuff more than people that I actively follow. I don't know how she's gamed the algorithm, but here we are. Anyway, his girlfriend goes away for a little bit, couple weeks, and then he tweets this. It's been 19 days and 20 hours since I last felt Kate's warm embrace. She landed 47 minutes ago. The 24 hours of travel no doubt has her rushing to shower. She needs to cleanse herself of a dirty world incompatible with her sensibilities. The wash doubles as a ritual, preparatory for entrance into the symbolic world we've constructed. Now, already, I'm calling the police. This is a prisonable offense. Here's the thing, right? Back in the day, people wrote some things, right? Even Shakespeare would look at this and read this and go, you've gone too far. I would imagine he probably wrote something similar to this. And then he read it back. He read it out loud to himself and goes, this is crazy. What am I doing? He crumpled the paper up and he threw it right into the fire, right? You can compare thee to a summer's day, but it needs to stop there. We don't go any farther than that. The sentence, she needs to cleanse herself of a dirty world incompatible with her sensibilities, is crazy. What a dirty world with her sensibilities. And then to follow that up with the wash doubles as a ritual preparatory for entrance into the symbolic world we've constructed. There's nothing symbolic about it. You've constructed a reality that has nothing to do with the actual reality. And it's called schizophrenia. It's called an eating disorder. And you have it. You have it. We're only a paragraph in, and already I want to throw up. The time apart has been costly. My body's... Sorry, I had to sneeze. My body's rejecting this tweet. This happens. I'm allergic to craziness. My body's electrical signaling betrays the separation. Without her touch, my vagus nerves, 100,000 myelinated fibers, have dropped their high-frequency spectral power, squawking distress. Yuck. Yuck. Yucky, yucky, yucky sentence. An intelligence system broadcasting diminished waveforms, hoping to be heard. There are other signals of distress. That is maybe the most ominous sentence I've heard today. There are other signals, because I know what's coming. I've prepared myself mentally for what's coming, and I see that, and I go, oh, no. Now, I will say, an intelligence system broadcasting diminished waveforms, hoping to be heard, I think that's actually a very beautiful sentence, and in other contexts, beautiful. Beautiful. My white blood cells, this is continuing, my white blood cells have shifted their gene expression, upregulating pro-inflammatory genes IL-6 and TNF-alpha, and downregulating my antiviral genes, a pro-aging biochemical signature of a system suffering hardship. All he had to say was, I miss you. I cannot stress that enough. All he had to say was, I miss Kate. 3 words that summarize everything he's just gotten into. My environment is a pristine anti-aging laboratory. Air, water, food, and light are meticulously measured. He's the Avatar, the last dumbbender. Toxins are filtered. Purification systems run autonomously. Biomarkers tracked. Nutrition is calibrated. Like, he's talking like he's Ivan Drago from the Rocky movies, but really he's just a multi-hundred millionaire, billionaire from American Psycho. Yet outside my control is the affection of another. 68 trillion cells that constitute Bryan Johnson run non-negotiable code. They demand tenderness. Oh, gosh. And not of a whimsical type, but deep, all-encompassing love that must be earned and carefully maintained. Otherwise, they protest in self-termination. I might protest in self-termination, to be honest. This is first of all, I don't know what whimsical tenderness would be. I'm not entirely sure what whimsical tenderness would be. Maybe like, a little ruffle of the hair potentially, but a deep, all-encompassing love that must be earned and carefully maintained. I would wager a bet. I would wager my life savings that if you ran that by a therapist, that they would consider that to be toxic and not a good, stable relationship foundation. The idea that you have to earn the love of another and carefully maintained, sure, but earn the love is like, how is she earning the love? What is he doing to earn the love? Now she's only 13 miles away, and I can viscerally feel her essence. Yucky, yucky, yucky again. Big yucky. The transmission pulses in high fidelity, as if there were a fiber optic cable streaming our connection at light speed through the multiplex cylinders of glass. This is such a nerd alert. Oh my gosh. This is how nerds used to talk to each other. It's like the Big Bang Theory right now. The time apart created latency, buffering the connection, depriving us of luminescence and dimming into noise. I feel like he's 2 seconds away from mentioning KPIs. Like, I feel like I'm in a business meeting right now. Maybe one of the showers is a KPI. That's probably a KPI. In 15 minutes, she will be within reach. Which, I mean, I'm pretty sure the Terminator said the same thing about his victims, but we move on. I can visualize the whites of her eyes. Again, what we said when we were attacking the British, and smell her aroma. When she arrives, she will be shy. Yuck. Yuck. I hate this. Whenever we are apart, she returns to zero. I don't know what that means. She returns to zero, like she becomes a feat, like she becomes some sort of baked potato. Her previous openness will be closed. Her emotional dynamic range will be held in reserve until she feels she is safe and can trust. First of all, he's acting like she's a little kitten from the shelter that you bring home and that hides under the mattress for a few days until he's ready to come out. Like, from this, I would be so insulted if someone said this to me. If I found out that my friend said that when we're apart, Sam returns to zero. His previous openness just becomes totally closed. His emotional dynamics will be held in reserve until he feels safe and he can trust. I would be like, man, they think nothing of me. I'm just a complete little butterfly to them. They think I'm like made of glass or something. This is not. I need to kindle her again. The rush of courtship enthralls me. Like, again, I cannot emphasize how you should never, ever, ever say these things to anybody. There's never an appropriate opportunity to say these things. You could go back. This is what's uniquely weird about this, is you could say this to somebody at any time in the last 10,000 years, and it would be inappropriate to say. There's never been a time or a cultural, social situation or norm where this has been an acceptable thing to say to another human being. I need to kindle her again. The rush of courtship enthralls me. Yucky. I mean, this is grooming. This is grooming. But again, let's forget she's a victim, but she's also a perpetrator. The anticipation drives a small cluster of my midbrain neurons to flood dopamine. Nerve fibers activate, lighting up my skin's receptors. As it awaits for slow, caressing touch, my hypothalamus begins synthesizing oxytocin, preparing to dump it upon first eye contact to ensure the reestablishment of our pair bond. This biomechanical orchestra fills me with delight and sensorial want. This guy should be a villain in a Star Wars movie. The way he's talking, he should be like a Star Trek species that they're like humans, but they're like pandas. You know how like pandas just like they struggle to survive as a species because they're lazy and they don't mate and they're like too clumsy to mate and they just can't figure it out. And we have to like step in and like make it happen. Otherwise they're just going to die out. This reads as like a subhumanoid species that just doesn't know how to mate. That just doesn't know how to have a real connection. Because imagine you get a text from like, hey, you text your loved one, I'm on my way home. And then they text back, my hypothalamus has begun synthesizing oxytocin, ready to dump on first eye contact to reestablish our pair bond with a heart. You would turn the car around and go to the police station and say, I would like to file a restraining order against my partner. And they would go, you can't just do that. You need to get a lawyer. There's a process. And then you would turn your phone and you would show them the text and they go, we'll send it right through. Because that's crazy. That's crazy. Kate's been mulling over what she'll wear for days. This, by the way, I'm just going to get this out of the way. Yucky. This is about to be yucky. She's considered dozens of possibilities and modeled out my anticipated emotional state, the weather, and our planned activities. The colors will be representative of her psychological state and be positioned to soothe mine. The texture, style, and hues will interplay with our biology. The deliberately chosen accessories will add flair, intrigue, and play. This is how she flirts, seduces, and bypasses my mind to speak directly to my physiology. She has other tricks too. Listen, last sentence, yuck, want to throw up. That whole thing is, I think, a very interesting insight what it's like to be a serial killer, because the colors of her, like a mood ring alone, I think we all as a society agreed that the mood ring was lame, and if you wore one, you were ostracized. Like, I can't think of a weirder thing than a mood ring. And what we're talking about is a mood wardrobe. We're talking about, like, imagine, I'm trying to imagine this. Like, if somebody told me, if I went on a date with someone, and at the end of the date, they were like, you haven't mentioned my purple. And I'd be like, you're purple. And they'd be like, yeah, I wore purple. And I'd be like, okay. And they'd be like, it's cloudy. It's cloudy. And I have purple. And we went to the zoo. And I'd be like, is this a Mad Lib? Like, what are we doing? And then they would say, do you not see what's happening right now? I'm in purple. It's cloudy. We went to the zoo. And you haven't picked up on any of that at all. I put in all this effort to wear purple, to convey my psychological state and have soothed yours, because I knew that you were going to be coming into this in a blue. You were coming in blue, and I needed to respond with purple so that we could then get to red, right? We want to get to red because red is where kissing happens. And if we can't get to red, then this is all a moot point. You're at blue. How do we get to red? I have to be purple. Do you not see the effort that I have put in? Do you not see the texture? Do you not see the fact that this is 100% cotton, not made in China? Do you see that the hues are interconnecting with our biology, where you have worn plaid for some unexplainable reason, and I have worn soothing stripes. Normally they don't go together, but I have made it work. Do you not see that I have deliberately chosen accessories that add flair and intrigue in play, like this pendant that I use to repel spirits from the third realm? And I would say, what on earth is happening right now? And she would say, it's representative of my psychological state. And I would say, yeah, I think it is. I think I've actually learned everything I need to know about your psychological state right now. I can't imagine, like, if somebody flirted with me using colors, I would assume you have the IQ of a fourth grader. How do you flirt with colors? Crazy. She's arrived. Oh no. We're getting to the end here, folks. She's arrived. I must wait for her. Her timidness will want to determine the cadence. I'm just imagining if like a drill sergeant said this, you know, their timidness will determine the cadence. I hear the door crack open and her bag drop to the floor. Well, that's not okay. It could be good. She's nervous. I'd be nervous too if I'm entering your room. I feel like I'd be entering the cage with a, repressed puma. I'm on the couch, neutral and open. Again, imagine coming home to your loved one and seeing them on the couch, neutral and open. What does that... If you got a text from someone that said, yeah, come on in, just like come on in, see yourself in, I'm on the couch, you'll neutral and open. I wouldn't want to go into that room. I wouldn't want to be in that house. I don't even know if I want to be friends with that person anymore. Don't be neutral and open. Be normal and closed. Oh my goodness. This is why she's nervous. She rounds the corners and our eyes meet. This is also, by the way, this is how tigers hunt deek in Africa, just so you know. The inhibitions wither as the magnetism draws us together. Soft hellos are whispered and our bodies interdigitate. Now, interdigitate is an interesting word to use. The definition, I had to look this up. The definition of interdigitate is interlocking or mesh together like the fingers of two folded hands, right? Now, this to me infers that they sat down and they interlocked legs like a finger. They interlocked arms like a finger. And then they went ear to ear and interlocked necks like fingers and then whispered hellos to each other. They greeted each other like two baboons, like a baboon mother greets her son after a long day playing. Like this is Animal Planet at this point. This is Animal Planet. And I don't think we're even studying humans. I don't even think this counts as humans. Like if aliens showed up tomorrow, as the government would like us to believe they will, and they studied Bryan Johnson, they would learn absolutely nothing about people. And that's really spectacular to think about. I feel her fingertips on the back of I don't even know if I can read this part. Goosebumps out of my body. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So technically there's no dirty words in this, but it is actually more graphic than anything I've ever read in my entire life. And I'm going to skip this next part because it says right here, I press my cheeks against hers. I really think that they are like sitting on the floor, just like intertwangled, I guess, interdigitated. is the word we're using. Yeah. Yeah, I have to skip a bunch of this stuff. But eventually she relents and wants to dance. She's home. And what can I read here? Her hypothalamus stimulates the release of GnRH, which tells the pituitary gland. Oh, can't read that. Never mind. Our olfactory systems consume each other with delight, signaling immune system compatibility. Now, what he's referring to here is if you don't actually wear deodorant, that someone who's compatible with you will just, their natural odor actually won't be too stinky. And it's really, I think, a long game to get everybody to smell really bad. Move my hands to her jawline, holding her head firmly in place. Yuck. Our mirror neurons speak to each other. Ugh. I know what she wants. To be let go, probably. Yeah. I can't read the rest of this. So just know that it got very graphic in a very sciencey way. And that right there is roughly 25 minutes on why he will never, ever be on this podcast. So rest assured of that. So that's my update. I just wanted to share that with everybody. I'm going to edit this up because I'm going to surely have to cut parts out. And I might never release this. But just know that I'm working very hard to get good guests. I am screening them. And that hopefully very soon we will have another interview. Okay. Goodbye, everybody.